So in this short series, we're just going to go over a couple product reviews and then talk about the CO2 setup system. So right here I've got the CO2Art Pro SE series, advanced dual stage CO2 regulator. Now originally it had a single stage regulator, and to prevent the end of canister dump of CO2, I went ahead and upgraded to the dual stage. I got this one for $144. You can get the cheap ones on Amazon for about $80. I highly recommend upgrading if you can, because it'll just save you the headache of getting this in the future. It's a good little regulator, adjustable working pressure. So we'll take some short videos here, but I keep the working pressure I guess almost about 40, 38, 40. I've got a 10-pound CO2 tank. A lot of people would say you just need a 5-pound. The 10-pound sits under the 75-gallon just fine. It lasts twice as long, and you just quit it and forget it. I got that right off of Amazon. The tank itself, I think it was like, I found one for $60, believe it or not, shipped, which was hard to even find. So here we have the CO2Art solenoid setup. Now this is the solenoid. This is set to the timer itself, so it comes on 2 hours before light. This is the bubble counter, currently out of water. Doesn't matter, it leaks out. Everything's set up. Working pressure about 38, 39. And then your tank, this is your tank pressure side, reading almost 800. It should be 800, 750. Your tank. Now this is a 10-pound tank. One thing I will say I recommend right here is a gasket you can get. It's a seal for this tank. It's about $3 or $4 on Amazon. Made of brass, and it's got an O-ring on it. Tighten it down, no leaks. This is the setup in general. Please get that seal, and this is your right here where my thumb's at, your working pressure. This is a CO2 level indicator. You can get one of these, very common, anywhere on Amazon, your local fish store. Comes with the card. Like I said, you're looking for that lime green color. Yellow, you're gonna get a little bit too much, and if you're in the blue, you don't have none at all. So you're looking for a good solid green, lime green color, and then that's how you know. I also put it on a timer. I have it come on. I started at 1 hour before, and then I actually increased it to 1.5 hours before lights turn on, and then now I have it on the 2 hours like most people have it come on. I just tested pH. My pH right now is all the way down to 6.3. Most people say to get 30 parts per million CO2, you want to drop down at night. Let's say you're at 7.2. You want to drop down 1 full pH at peak to get the 30 bubble parts per million. The timer I use is NearPal that you can see. It's a good little timer. So I'm really happy with the solenoid. I'm happy with the CO2. The only downside to it, first of all, it's really expensive. So if you can't afford it, you want to get low-tech plants, and they'll still grow. But if you look here at the Pygmy chainsaw, they're actually getting purple, but that's primarily because of the high light. So the growth rate on everything is just, for the most part, outrageous. The Brazilian stargrass I just trimmed about 4 weeks ago to about 4 inches and discarded the bottom half. I couldn't even give them away. And as you can see, they've tripled in size almost. Now they're about 12 or so inches already. The Brazilian pennywort I'm constantly having to trim. So that's another downside to it, is actually the plants will grow almost too fast. And actually when I leave for work, I'll dial back the CO2 and lights. The CO2 also helps with algae control. I just noticed such a much better overall tank appearance with the CO2, even if you were to do something simple. Now, I've got this expensive setup. I've started with the do-it-yourself yeast and sugar. It doesn't work, it's messy, it's a pain in the butt, it is not worth it. And then for the smaller aquariums, years ago, I actually used to have the Fluval 88 gram canisters, and those work fairly well as long as you have a 20 gallon and under tank, but they're still expensive. So anything over 20 gallons, I highly recommend the CO2 system. Anyway, that's my CO2 setup. If you have any more CO2 questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching.